Okay, well, we'll go ahead and get started. We have a lot of things to talk about today. We appreciate you joining us. This is dealing with GSA eBuy's new security procedures. As I mentioned earlier, Tony Galoscio, I call him Tony, guys. He was going to join us today. He's one of our great customers for us, and he said, "Hey, my fellow GSA schedule holders, sorry I could not make the briefing today, but alas, my federal customers must come first." Isn't that the truth? My comments have been included, and I really appreciate this from Tony that he gave us. We walked through this earlier this week to help us at Quick Fuse, because what happened affected us as well. So we included his comments in the presentation, and then we're going to take care of that, me and the Quick Fuse staff. So the password reset and verification is affecting all of our efficiencies here. I have to tell you that these changes will make Quick Fuse more important than ever. And I've had to wait for more than just a few minutes, and some of us have, and some of us more than 5 minutes actually to get that code in some instances. So we appreciate Tony so much. I have to tell you, he's a great guy, and anytime you run a system or you have a service, you really want to have customers like Tony, because they're engaged. They have helped us really on the Quick Fuse side, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Real quick on the agenda, we're going to talk about the briefing controls in just a minute so that you can make sure everything works. We'll talk about GSA eBuy security, the change that has happened, and we'll walk you through resetting your password if you haven't done that already. We'll also show you how to log into eBuy after you get your password reset, and we'll talk a little bit about Quick Fuse and what it does to help you get to GSA opportunities faster, as well as some additional resources at the end of the briefing. So briefing controls, this line could be above or on the side, but you can make me disappear altogether if you just want to go to death by PowerPoint, which we just did, by the way, because the video wasn't working. We fixed that from GoToWebinar earlier, but you can drag that and you can make me bigger, or you can make me disappear altogether. And you can also open the panel, and in that panel on the side there are handouts, and those handouts there's 4 of them in there that you can download and open up if you like, and we'll talk about those in a minute as well. You can also chat your questions, or you can raise your hand and let us know that you have a question. Love to have the dialogue. And if you dialed in on the phone, make sure that you enter your audio pin so we can unmute you so we can have the dialogue, right? You can also email us at support@govbrief.us, and we will respond to that and include that in the follow-up to the presentation as well. In this, and this is not 8A sessions, this is a GSA session. We just did these in 8A. So anyhow, GSA eBuy login, you have a quick reference guide that we created for you. And there's a buyer tutorial and a seller tutorial, right? So I like to take a look, so I like to see what the buyers see so that we can get an understanding of how it gets presented to them. And I'll have some more information for you later this month on that as we review this with folks with different agencies to see how they use eBuy. And then there's the Quick Fuse 500% guarantee. Real quick, this is not affiliated or endorsed by the GSA or any other agency. It is provided to you, the audience, for information purposes only. And all participation in this briefing is voluntary, and any engagement by government personnel is not an indication or endorsement of or commitment to purchase from any vendor. Now we got that out of the way, we can talk about, if anybody's here from the government, we'd love to hear your input on how things work with GSA eBuy. A little bit about ISI Federal. Underneath of our umbrella, you have GovBrief, you have GovContacts, and you have Quick Fuse. Quick Fuse is a GSA eBuy monitoring tool, and we'll talk about that towards the end of this session. We have over 180 million. That's about to go up quite a bit in direct and indirect sales. For representation here in DC, we're located 28 miles or so from DC. We provide market intelligence, federal marketing support, as well as business development support. So we can leverage whatever tools you have. That includes your GSA schedule, 8A, Hub Zone, any of those service disabled. We like to use those as our tools to go and win federal business. And we provide that through supporting you or through turnkey representation in DC. And we also do quick fuse monitoring, which is all about GSA eBuy. And that's the only thing it does. A little bit about Veratix. This is Tony's group, great guys. They really understand both the federal marketplace as well as IT. You can see by their certification, CMMI, DCAA compliant, PMI certified. These are the things that differentiate him in the marketplace, and he leverages that. And also, he's a service-disabled, veteran-owned small business, has a GSA Schedule 70, and as I mentioned before, he is a quick fuse power user, and we really appreciate all that he has done for us to help us in understanding what we can do to help support you, GSA schedule holders, with your eBuy monitoring. So we're here because Friday evening, everybody got an email, and it kind of looked like this. It says, hey, you're going to need to reset your password soon in GSA eBuy. In fact, across the whole VSC system. So with that, on Saturday, eBuy went down for a few hours, and then it was back up, and then and logins were okay. And then Sunday, the new procedures were implemented, which we got this and said, hey, you need to reset your password now. So this just shut us out from being able to log in to GSA eBuy. So this is what happened. They required new procedures for two-factor authentication. They didn't lose information like privacy information or anything like that. They just knew, they found that there was a challenge with their security, so they did the upgrade. So what you need to log in and change your password, and then you'll have a six-digit code that's sent to us via email, and they or sent to you via email as a GSA schedule holder. That then you have to enter that code in order to proceed. So here's the question: have you reset your GSA eBuy login yet? And last time was about 50-50. We had about half and half. So let's see what happens today. So, and there's a couple different categories here. Either you've reset your password and everything works, or you're here to figure out how that's why you're here, right? Or no, you can't because you don't have access to the email showing. We've had a few people that have had that issue, or they're here for another reason and need some additional help, and we'll talk about that as well. Boom, there you go. All right, so this is where we are. Oh, almost everybody has it. Very good. So we'll talk about some logins and things like that, and we'll also talk about how to save a little bit of time. So there you go. So everybody knows that that we're all in this together. So with that, we know about that. So now you can grab the handouts. For those who didn't, we're going to walk through this. It'll be a repeat for the folks who've already done it. So bear with us for just a few minutes as we get everybody up to speed, okay? So with that, you log in to ebuy.gsa.gov. This is probably something that you have already saved, so you already know this. If you're new to eBuy, it looks like this. So then you're going to need to type in your current password and your GSA schedule number, right? Just like you would logging in. But then, boom, here's what pops up. The password reset is required. So you're going to click on the link to go to the VSC, right, to change that, and it will then pop this up to you. Here's where you need to re-enter the information that you just entered. So it's the same information, nothing changed yet. So type in your current password that you just used to get into GSA eBuy regularly, right? So you fill that out, you put your password in again, and then you hit submit. Now this is what's new. Here's where you have to go and check your email. You have to go to the email that you have registered, and you'll get a security code, and it looks like this. It'll be a 6-digit code that you will then enter into that same box. So I like to copy and paste, up to you. If you like typing, then you can do the typing, but I like to copy and paste. So I copy it from the email, pop it in to that code where it says enter your code, your temporary code, and now you're going to get transferred to resetting your password. Before we go to that screen, this password needs to be at least 8 characters. It's case sensitive. It has to have at least 1 alpha number and special character. This is different because normally they fed us the password. It was just whatever password that was generated automatically in their system. Now we have control over resetting those passwords, right, as GSA schedule holders. So when we submit this, when we go to fill this out, this is password rules, pretty simple. I mean, we've all done passwords before. So this is where you enter the password, and you see the same information that I just shared. And then you confirm that, and you hit the enter. Now, some of us have gotten this. This can happen. There's a warning that something was wrong. It could be that the passwords didn't match. It could be that it didn't meet the criteria as it's slated of having alpha and special characters as well as a number, right? So to make sure all that's right. But it could also happen because the system was busy. Everybody's been pounding on this system pretty hard for the first part of this week. And a lot of folks have done well. Appreciate you guys joining us that have already done this and helping us walk through. So that gets you through the place where you have your password reset. So for the folks that didn't before have it, I think I got it. I need a little bit more help, but you'll review the handouts, or I need more help and we'll walk through this. We have a couple folks that we're going to be doing this with in the afternoon. If you can't do it, no shame in that. We'll make sure that we can help you get to the place that you need to be, get logged into GSA eBuy so you can start seeing the opportunities again. All right, so most everybody's got it, and a few people need a little bit of help. For the folks that need a little bit of help, we'll reach out to you and make sure we can help you. We'll walk through that in a little while. Slow it down a little bit if you need to, and even share screens if we need to. Fair enough? All right. So we'll get moving on to the next thing, and that will be questions for what we got here. Let's see what we have as far as questions are concerned. Let's see. How can I reset my password if I do not know my original password? Great question. That you're going to have to call GSA for and have them help walk you through that. How do you change the email where the security code is sent? Another great question. Thank you, Peter. That's another question that you're going to have to call VSC for. That information is right there on the login for GSA eBuy. And there's two challenges there that we have heard on multiple occasions where that's the case, where you don't have access to that email and have the ability to do that. Can we see all the questions being asked? No, you can't see all the questions being asked. Unfortunately, John, there's no way to be able to see all those. But what we will do is we will combine those and make sure that we supply follow-up information for that. So awesome. Any other questions before we move on? That was pretty straightforward. Don't want to bore anybody to tears, but I don't want to leave anybody out either. So if we're good, we'll move on. So now that we've done that, everybody good? All right. So now that we've done that, now we have the ability to log into GSA eBuy. So you go right back to that original screen that we know, right? That everybody knows. Now we have the ability to select the correct email that we want to send this to. So one of the issues, and I think this deals with the issue that you mentioned, I think it was Dennis that mentioned that, where there's multiple emails on the account. Maybe the email's not even right, but now you're locked out and you can't even tell. In this instance, once you've already gotten there, you'll get to be able to see all the emails that are associated, right? So if you're a QuickFuse user, obviously QuickFuse is one of the authorized users, and you can log in for that. But make sure when you're logging in that you're picking the right email, because if you pick the QuickFuse one, it's coming to us, right? So we don't want it to come to us, we want it to go to you, right? So make sure you click your email, click the right email, and then you hit the continue button, and then that security code is coming back to your email, just like the password reset did. So this is the process now for every time you want to log into eBuy. And you go back there, you grab the security code, you type it in, and you hit submit, and now you're into eBuy, right? So we've heard stories about how long it takes, and sometimes it's bam, it's right there, it's not a problem. We have waited for over 5 minutes in some instances for this code to arrive, which creates a problem, right? So tell us what you think. Perfect? You think this is great? You're going to log in yourself, everything's good? Or this is crazy, this is nutso, we want to find a better way. And I hope everybody clicks on we want to find a better way, because we have a better way. So it's just that simple. So we will we'll talk about the better way in just a minute, and we'll let that go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and awesome. So here we go. So thank you very much, because 71% of us want a better way. Now, I want to tell you that this is exactly why we built Quick Fuse in the first place. We built it because we were responsible for doing eBuy submissions, and if Aisha's here, she can talk about that in a little bit. But we were doing eBuy submissions. We were missing things. We were missing opportunities. We were missing delivery times and all that. So we needed a way, first of all, to know faster. And when you get into September, and we get even August, if you're Schedule 70 holders, this is going to resonate with you more than anybody, because you get so many things that come through, and you need to know about it faster, because those turnarounds are so fast. So the Quick Fuse is an immediate, direct, organized, manageable eBuy monitoring tool. That's exactly what it is. So when you use this, you get immediate information. That means when it comes out, you know within minutes, sometimes seconds. And right now we're retooling Quick Fuse. You can't even order it right now, but it will be available shortly. But the tool goes and grabs it and then packages it for you, and gets it and keeps it organized. How does it keep you organized? It keeps you organized because all the attachments are associated with it, so you stay organized and you can open those attachments. It also is manageable because you can control your eBuy submission of whether or not you want to bid or no bid right here from the email. Most of us, especially Schedule 70, there's a lot of noise that comes in, right? So this keeps everything manageable. You can get to the go, no go as fast as possible. So tell me what your biggest issue is with GSA eBuy, and we'll talk about some of those. The time it takes to log in, everybody should be clicking that. You can click as many as you want, but everybody should be clicking that now, because it is taking way longer. It's 4 or 5 times as long with the verification code. Finding opportunities that are applicable to you. Again, if you're doing a lot on GSA eBuy, probably the most of your time is just sifting through the information to find it. And then maybe you're missing opportunities, and be honest, I know it, be honest, missing modifications and missing the bid deadlines. I'm telling you, we've done it all. We've done every one of those. We've spent a whole lot of time trying to sift through things, and we've missed bid deadlines. So that's what we're going to be talking about in just a minute. So everybody can be honest. It's okay. We're all amongst friends. We're all in the same boat together. There you go. Look at this. We do have a bunch of honest people here today, Aisha. This is great. So the time it takes to log in, finding opportunities. This is the #1 issue. Because of the amount of information that is sent out and the way that things are categorized, it's very difficult for us to find opportunities that are good for us. And then if we're spending time looking for the opportunities, then we're missing the opportunity to bid on certain opportunities because we've wasted so much time looking for those opportunities. So that's what we want to talk about now. So let's talk about qualifying these RFQs. First of all, I want to know if it's a small business set aside. If we're a small business, we need to know if it's a small business set aside, because then we know that at least the big boys can't compete for it, right? Then the other thing we want to know, which you can only find on Quick Fuse, by the way, is who is this going out to? Is it just in my SIN, or is it going out to more people outside of my SIN? In this instance, it's 2 separate, completely separate contract vehicles. One's FABS 520, or used to be FABS. It's a PSS now, but FABS 520, and then you have Schedule 70. So you have a tremendous amount of exposure there. So you're gonna have a list of hundreds of potential competitors that operate in those SINs. So that can help you decide whether or not you want to even do it. The other thing that I love is that it tells us whether it's an RFI. I love RFIs because that means the government's saying, hey, is there anybody out there that can do this other than somebody that we already know? And it may be because they don't really like the people they already know, or they don't want to put it out for full and open competition. They want to know whether there's enough small businesses that can qualify and whether or not your hub zone service disabled and things like that. So pay attention to RFIs. Do respond to RFIs. Then it's a matter of saying, do we have enough time to turn this around? How can we do this? Are we going to be able to meet all the requirements? Is it simple enough for us to respond to? And what if it's listed, that doesn't always fill this, they don't always fill this out. We can only give you what they give us, right? Only what's on GSA eBuy. So if the information is provided, you can see right away whether or not this is in your wheelhouse or not. And you can, if you need additional information, you go to the attachments. You say, all right, I need more. I want to see if this is really where it is. And you talk about the time savings. This is where Tony and I have talked about this a lot. The amount of time that it takes to log in, to download and organize your documents is huge. When you add that up, if you're talking about hundreds of RFQs that hit in a given month, or when you get to September in a given week, right? So you open these up and it's right there. You can see whether or not this is in your wheelhouse. All the documents are associated with the opportunity. And then if you need to get anybody else involved, this could be somebody on your team or somebody else that's outside of your company, as long as you're going to be teaming with them, they can take a look. You can forward this information because you have control of the information. You can't broadcast it to everybody because it is proprietary to your GSA schedule, your SIN. And guess what? It might even be proprietary to just a few people, because buyers can shortlist people on QuickFuse. Not QuickFuse, GSA eBuy. QuickFuse just tells you whether or not it's shortlisted. All right, so then you get to the go, no go. That's what we all need to get to as quickly as possible. And we have the ability to choose whether or not we want to bid. If we choose that we want to bid, then QuickFuse creates a draft in eBuy. It engages QuoteHound, which is saying, hey, every day, that after you click this, every day, morning and afternoon, it tells you, hey, I want to make sure you remember you want to bid on this. How many of us, we already saw it, there was at least 25% of us have forgotten that we wanted to bid on something until it's too late and we realize we can't assemble the docs. So this is one way that we built in. And then finally, if it hasn't been bid on, especially if you're a larger organization, you can get pinged with this as well and says, hey, this hasn't been bid on. And it keeps doing it 2 hours, every 2 hours the last day up. Because I want to make sure that we're not forgetting and we know exactly when we need to submit this bid when we're doing the bid submissions. Because we can't afford to be missing bid submissions and being a minute late. If you're a minute late, you're out of the pool, right? So that's one of the reasons why we look at it. The other part of it is tracking all the modifications. We had a lot of folks, 25% again, that missed it because they misquoted because they didn't get all the modifications. This keeps the mods in front of your face. You have them, you know, within minutes of the new mod being released, you're notified of it, and you have the last modifications, including the documentation attachments. Make sense? So that's the methodology behind QuickFuse, so that you can get to your opportunities fast. And then once you understand that you do want to bid, it's already assembled for you. You can shoot it out to anybody that you want to. It's already organized. It's in your email. If you want to download it and put it into a folder, that's fine. You don't have to, because it's already associated with the email. But if you want to, you can. And then you only log in to complete the bid. There's some other power user things that QuickFuse does. It pulls in all the data for the recipients, both the contracting officer and the program person that is being delivered to. If they're on there, we pull that in, and it helps us to be able to proactively market those folks as well. So you can bid more, you can win more, and what we mean by guaranteed is it's a 500% guarantee. If you don't make 5 times more by bidding on eBuy than you make with spending on QuickFuse, it'll be free. You have to do it for a year. You have the documents right there, including all the fine print, because we want to help you get to the place where you're winning on GSA eBuy. So one of the things that, just a reminder what Tony said, that now this becomes more valuable because the login takes so much more time. So just the login alone, and then having to continually re-log in and using that the password notification. So you can find that at quickfuse.com. Again, we are right in the process. You can't even sign up automatically right now because we're in the process of updating it. But we wanted to get the information out to you because if you can't get the GSA eBuy, you certainly can't bid, right? So here's the next question. I am interested in QuickFuse. Everybody can click that if you want. If you want fast notification, click it. You get 30 days for free. We'll make sure you get that as soon as it's up and running. How about learning eBuy secrets to increase your win rate and profitability? We will be doing a briefing on this. We do eBuy submissions, and we actually have ways to get better pricing from your suppliers. We can help you do that. How about bid pricing and submission? If you bid more, you win more. If you need some help with that, we can do that. Or we can do marketing and representation in DC. A lot of folks picked that last time. I wasn't expecting that. That's what we do every day. The marketing component to get ahead of RFPs and ahead of RFQs. And, oh, by the way, get us shortlisted on GSA eBuy. That's one of the ways that we can help. We're meeting with folks, different people over the next couple of weeks within different agencies about eBuy. So, and helping folks, helping understand what's happening on their side and helping them to be able to choose the vendors that they want the way they want to choose them. It's pretty cool. Anyway, there you go. So give you another couple seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom. Appreciate that. And we'll make sure that you get all the information that you need. Thanks for everybody that wants to hop on board with QuickFuse. So some additional resources. You have the handouts. You can download them. They're right on the side. You can download those. You will get a recap email that'll have the presentation link if you want to watch this 100 times, like we do The Greatest Showman. If you haven't seen that, it's awesome. And the supporting documents, Q&A. Anybody that has questions, we will include that. We'll get to the questions in just a minute. And links to professional resources. So let's see what we have for the questions before we move on. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. If your email address is a distribution list, how can this be updated so that everyone on the distribution list does not receive the security code when emails only one person is trying to use eBuy? Great question. The answer is you can't. If your email address in GSA eBuy is on a distribution list, it will be distributed to everybody. So you're going to want to set up separate emails within GSA eBuy. Or use QuickFuse. We don't have a QuickFuse option in our dropdown. Is that something that would be rolled out over time, or do I need to put in a ticket to have our company profile updated? You need to sign up for QuickFuse to do that. It's at quickfuse.com, QUIKFUSE.com, and you can't even do that yet. You'll get a link when it's live. It's live. You can go there. You can see what we do. As soon as we have that updated, and we're working on it feverishly because we can't even do our job for monitoring eBuy until it's there. Q&Q notifications as well. Thank you very much, Chris. Explain that, Chris. Q&Q. Hold on one second. Let me see where you are. Are you on here? Hang on, Chris Wagner. Let me see where you are. Let me unmute you, Chris. Chris, what's your comment there? Because Chris is on my team. Q&A notifications, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry about that. Q&A notifications. You're right. Q&A notifications are also included, which are difficult to get to in GSA eBuy. So that's cool. All right. I enter my contract and password on a VSE site. Then I'm prompted to the security code screen. Then I enter the security code, but I get says warning, bad request. Please try again. Not sure what to do. That is and you're entering it right. It's a 6-digit code and you entered it right. I would talk with GSA VSC. I make, the phone number's right there as you log into eBuy. I don't have an answer to that. It could be that the system's overloaded. We've had that, right? All right, we use a master email. Everyone has this on their Outlook and can see and use it. We know exactly what you mean. Thank you, John. That's a challenge. That is a challenge. And it's that you're not, everybody's going to get that notification. If you use Quick Fuse, you don't even have to log in. So just pitching my own system, my own selfish thing. But that can help. That'll help you do that. All right. How much is Quick Fuse? Quick Fuse is $89 a month. You get 30 days for free for now. That's going to go away in a few weeks as we get closer to September because it gets very busy. You can sign up for that and you get your guarantee associated with that. So any other questions you can submit them via email, or we can reach out. You can reach out to us directly. Some additional resources that you will find that we will have. You have upcoming industry briefings. There's a lot of folks that were interested in the eBuy submissions. We'll get a briefing invite out to you for those for sure. Just watch. You can go to govbrief.us and you can see all the industry briefings that are there. We also, if you're interested in doing business with FEMA or the VA or getting an 8A, you can do that, as well as your hub zone and other certifications. We have some coming up for some requests for ISO certifications. That I believe that's going to be coming up, and there's several other briefings that we do on behalf of our clients to get to federal decision makers as well. So Monday roundtables. This is an interesting thing that we do every week. We anybody that's doing business with, that's one of our clients, if you're a Quick Fuse user, you can access the Monday roundtables. It's all part of Quick Fuse because we want you to win more contracts, and we hash out problems, issues, and every Monday we go through it with our clients and customers. And then if you're involved with the FEMA, doing business with FEMA, then you'll be included in the FEMA work groups. So if you're interested in that, there's two great places if you're interested in going there. Also, if you need business representation, marketing help in the federal government, that's what we're here for. Under our umbrella, you'll see GovBrief. That's what we're using right now to distribute information and get you up to speed. And sometimes we do these because we know it's important for you. So we use GovBrief as a platform for that. Then we have GovContacts if you need to find contacts, and Quick Fuse, obviously you know enough about that now. And I do want to thank Tony for all of his supporting information. It was very valuable to us. I cannot thank him enough for, we had several other of our customers that when we're doing the updates for the passwords so that Quick Fuse can do the monitoring, very important to us having folks like Tony that are willing to help us through the process. Anytime you're dealing with a system, especially a system that's reliant on other systems, you need customers like Tony. And if you need any IT help, reach out to Tony, and he can tell you a lot of great things. So we appreciate you joining us. If you have any other questions, I'll pop open the questions one more time. Make sure that we got a couple more. How can we find buyers for our products? Great question, John. Love that question. It's one of my favorites. We do market research for that. You can do that. You can go to govcontacts.us and we can do the research for you. You have a list of COs, but not the ones that decide what to buy. Very good. My recommendation is that, list of COs is great, but you need the right COs. That's the first thing. And then you need to have a process for connecting the dots between the CO and the person that's responsible. So the process for that is reaching out to the CO and see if they'll throw you over the fence. You don't ask, you don't get. Then you do top-down research to identify the key buyers, the key decision makers on the program side. That's one of the things that we also do every day, and we absolutely we have been calling and getting some of the insiders. Exactly. That's exactly what you do. There is no list of the program people. If there was a list, everybody would have it, and then everybody would be able to do what we do. We tend to shy away from a lot of times, let's say check FBO or go to the small business liaison. We understand that. The $89 a month is quick views alone. Great question. It doesn't include the marketing help per se. It does include the roundtables that we can talk about on Monday, in which case sometimes there's just a few people and we get really in depth into specific issues. How come they're not taking my call? Or what should I say in this meeting? Or, you know, I had a face-to-face meeting. Now I got to do follow-up. What's the best way to follow up? What's the best way to make sure that I stay relevant? We handle all those kinds of questions. So that's part of that. So John, I'm going to unmute you, man. You're asking a lot of questions. So I'm going to come to you. John, let's see if I can get you. John Reed, you there?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I could keep reading your questions or we could talk. So tell us about you, John, first. What do you do?
Well, I'm the GSA manager for Ancon Incorporated. We're a channel partner for GE. We just got on our GSA schedule here about 2 months ago, selling GE relays for their protection and control product. We have sent out over 2,000 emails. We are in the process of calling. We're in about 200-300 people. It seems like most contracting officers are never there. They never answer the phone.
That's right.
But we've gotten about 5 people that's actually gotten us farther into who decides to buy. So, you know, the key words are not contracting officer or contracting specialist, but it is who is the Office of Construction, who's your subject matter expert, and who's your business development contractor, because that's the people it seems like these guys are passing us to. So sometimes you get them, they're nice and kind, and they pass you on down, you know. But, you know, I've had one down in Houston, Texas. They actually vetted us. So he said, oh, yeah, great. He said, good to know. We do buy GE products. So he sent us a letter, and then he emailed back and said it'll take about 30 days to get us in the process. So it's just a slow-moving process. But
it's a slow-moving process, and that's exactly why I created this company. Because there's nothing fast, easy, or cheap about it. I don't care what anybody says.
No.
There's no way, and you can't dip your toe in. You got your GSA schedule, and that was an exercise in and of itself, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. I did find an easy way of doing that.
Good.
I could give you a company if everybody would want to know this company, but they're all on GSA now. But we spent about $40,000 for some help, and we ended up getting it our own selves after that year was up because they weren't any help. You know,
they didn't happen to be located in Tampa, St. Pete, did they?
No. These guys were out west somewhere.
Okay.
And it was just an awful experience. I mean,
yeah, we there's 2 folks that we team with, or we send people to, because it is a process. It's a pain. I don't want to do it. I'm not a paperwork guy. Do not give me the paperwork, because you'll fire me if I'm doing the paperwork. You'll fire me. So you know, but I appreciate that. And I did have a question, one of the questions, you kind of baked that into your question as well, is another question from Andrea about the marketing part of the package. The marketing part of our package deals with doing the grunt work that you're just talking about. Exactly what you're talking about. Making the phone calls, doing the follow-ups, because guess what? They're not answering the phone. If you're leaving messages, you're not getting called back.
Yeah.
So you need something else to be able to tweak them. And so we use GovBrief as an educational platform to do it, number 1. Number 2, we do introductory campaigns and follow-ups, and we never leave messages, because that's part of the rules. So but the Monday morning roundtables, if you sign up for Quick Views, you're going to get in the Monday morning roundtables. You get the invites, come, and then you'll see kind of how we operate. If you need additional help, we'll build a program around what you need. But congratulations on getting your schedule, and congratulations on your progress. And
yes, thank you. Yeah.
And to hear it from you, we don't know each other from Adam, right?
Right. We close punch each other because I'm I'm in Catonsville.
You're in Catonsville? Holy smokes! Yeah. You got a deluge of. Did you get flooded out in your basement too?
Well, our pump was keeping up. So
It was going, wasn't it?
some of our neighbors were not. Because we got 10 inches, Ellicott City got 9. So
It was. The difference is Ellicott City. For those of you who are not from Ellicott City or Catonsville or Woodstock, which is where I'm from,
yeah, okay.
which is just outside of Ellicott City, but you saw it on the news 2 weeks ago. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, it was on the news. Ellicott City is like a bowl, a half of a bowl, and its ridge is all the way around of this bowl. And when the rain comes, it funnels it right down into Main Street, and it was 10 feet of water, street wide, ripping right through Main Street.
Yeah, 100 mile an hour.
Yeah, it's the second time in 2 years. So there's your weather report from folks that are from Maryland. But I appreciate you being here, and we'll talk some more, John. I think it'd be good. And anybody else that needs any help, that's exactly what we do. And we appreciate you guys being here. Hopefully it was beneficial, gave you a little exposure to our system. And when we get it back up and running, it'll be very beneficial for all of your schedule holders. If you're interested. And again, I want to say thanks to Tony, even though he's not here, and he's servicing his federal contracts, and appreciate you all being here, and look forward to you joining us for other briefings that are coming up, and we'll keep you notified.
Hey, David.
Yes, sir.
What was the reason they went to the security like they have on this here?
Oh, the reason being is because there was a vulnerability that they found. They didn't say exactly what happened, but according to what I've heard is that there was a vulnerability in the system. They needed to, where passwords were obtained, so they could log in. If you had the password for a GSA eBuy, if you had the contract number and the password, that was all you needed ever. There's nobody ever knew. And if they were logging in on your behalf, nobody ever knew about it, right? So that's what they needed to do, is apply a 2-factor authentication. I'm not going to get all IT on everybody on how effective that is. I just know that's what happened.
Yeah, because reverse bid is also the same way now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've used that, but I went to reverse bid here a couple of days ago, and it was the exact same thing.
Exactly. So any system that uses the VSC, which is universal across the board, it creates problem. It creates a significant problem for everybody because of and we've had folks that have waited long enough that they got distracted, then they needed to go log in again. And
expires in 30 minutes.
You got 30 minutes, and what Tony said, he said, I know there's several times when he tried to log in, because he's forced to log in now because QuickView's not delivering. Can't deliver what I can't get to. So if with logging in, and you're busy, and if you don't have it within a minute, which is long enough, that's like watching paint dry, right? And then, if it winds up being longer than that, he said, I get distracted and I'm moving on to something else, and then I miss the code, and then I got to log in again, and I got to wait again. And then
it feels like you're back on dial-up.
Yeah, I'm going to quote you on that one. All right. Well, cool. Hopefully we'll get you as a customer, and you can rave about us just like Tony. So anyway, guys, we're going to let you go. I got to get ready for this next one, but thanks for joining us and sticking with us. And John, thanks for the feedback. And we'll have to get together. I'll be in touch because you're local. We'll go to Double T. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Thanks.
See you.
All right.